Anthony Joshua yẹn kó lè bọ́lẹ̀. Na Joshua kó sílẹ̀kùn kó lè bọ́lẹ̀. Anthony Joshua ni. Anthony ni.
Anthony Joshua was reported almost dead, words that stunned the boxing world. Early Monday, reports from Nigeria claimed the two-time heavyweight champion Weeks, after his emphatic win over Jake Paul, was involved in a serious car crash. Authorities said 2 people tragically lost their lives at the scene. The incident is under investigation by police.
Oh, Ben.
Joshua miraculously survived, but the emerging details are deeply unsettling. The crash reportedly occurred in broad daylight on one of Nigeria's busiest highways, where a Lexus SUV carrying the British boxing star slammed head-on into a stationary truck. In an instant, celebration turned into chaos. Fans worldwide flooded social media in shock, asking how this could happen. This was meant to be the year of AJ's comeback and redemption. Instead, the headline suddenly felt ominous, like a career and life hanging in the balance.
This is breaking right now. Apparently, British heavyweight boxer Anthony Joshua was involved in a serious car crash on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in Ogun State, Nigeria, near Sagamu on December 29th of 2024.
But what truly happened that morning on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, how close did Anthony Joshua come to losing everything, his career, his legacy, even his life? The incident reportedly unfolded around 11 a.m. on Monday near Sagamu in Nigeria's Ogun State. According to Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Joshua was one of 5 occupants traveling in a black Lexus SUV when disaster struck. Reports state the vehicle slammed into a stationary red truck parked along the roadside. The impact was devastating, with witnesses describing a thunderous crash followed by an eerie silence that stopped traffic and stunned onlookers.
Anthony Joshua moto. Let accident
When rescuers arrived at the scene, the outcome was devastating. 2 people were found dead. One was critically injured, and Anthony Joshua was barely conscious but alive. The Federal Road Safety Corps issued a somber yet clear statement confirming that 5 adult males were involved in the crash. 2 lives were lost, 1 person sustained serious injuries, and 2 others escaped unharmed. Joshua was rescued alive and suffered only minor physical injuries. Witnesses reported that local residents pulled him from the back seat of the badly damaged vehicle before emergency crews arrived. Within minutes, police and rescue teams flooded the area, clearing debris and attending to victims. Joshua was rushed to a nearby hospital for treatment. While his physical injuries were described as minor, the emotional weight of surviving such a tragedy surrounded by loss is something far deeper than any visible wound. The crash scene was chaotic and unsettling. The Lexus, once a luxury SUV, had been reduced to a mangled shell of twisted metal and shattered glass. Traffic on the highway stood still for hours as crowds gathered while flashing sirens sliced through the humid Nigerian air. Within minutes, videos flooded social media. Shaky phone footage showed Anthony Joshua being guided from the wreckage, dazed but alive. His eyes carried confusion, his shirt coated in dust, his steps slow and uncertain as if reality hadn't caught up yet. What makes it more painful is the timing. Just hours before the crash, Joshua had shared clips online laughing with friends, playing table tennis, and joking about his next fight ahead. It looked happy, carefree, full of life. Now those same fans watched in shock as footage of him being pulled from the wreckage spread online. One moment there was laughter, the next chaos, screams, and crushed metal. Witnesses at the scene described it as surreal. Locals rushed forward without hesitation, waving down traffic, breaking parts of the vehicle, and helping free those trapped inside. The Federal Road Safety Corps later confirmed their officers arrived within 3 minutes of receiving the alert, a rapid response that likely saved Joshua's life. While the investigation remains ongoing, the FRSC released a preliminary report indicating the Lexus may have been exceeding the legal speed limit, while attempting an overtaking maneuver.
Alone. On the back one, là.
Officials say the driver may have lost control while trying to overtake another vehicle, veering off course and smashing into a stationary truck parked by the roadside. Witnesses supported this account, describing the SUV as speeding before abruptly swerved, collided with a truck, and crumpled like paper. The preliminary report noted the accident was avoidable, suggesting the Lexus driver likely attempted the maneuver without enough visibility or clearance. Authorities have yet to confirm who was behind the wheel, deepening the mystery. What is certain is that the crash was devastating. Joshua escaping with only minor injuries have been called a miracle by officials. As one onlooker remarked, if that truck had been even a meter closer, this wouldn't be about survival. We'd be talking about tragedy and loss of legacy. In the moments before the crash, Anthony Joshua wasn't driving. He was seated in the back, reportedly scrolling through his phone and chatting with a friend. Another passenger sat beside him, while a fourth man occupied the front passenger seat. His security convoy, a black Peugeot SUV, followed closely behind a small detail that may have helped save his life. When the Lexus slammed into the stationary truck, the front bore the full impact, and the two men in the front suffered the worst injuries. By the time Joshua's security arrived, both front seat passengers had died. Joshua and one other survivor remained trapped in the back amid shattered glass smoke and twisted metal. Eyewitnesses described the frantic rescue people smashing windows, shouting his name, and pulling him from the wreckage. A local resident told reporters Joshua's face was pale, his hand trembling, his voice barely audible as he whispered, "Are they okay?" His concern was for the others, not himself. News of the crash hit his family in Nigeria like a bolt from the blue. An anonymous relative told the BBC, "We were expecting him home for the new year. This came as a shock to all of us. We are praying for him and the families of those who died. May their souls rest in peace." For Joshua's family, this wasn't just news, it was a near tragedy that could have changed everything. As word of the crash spread, the boxing world fell silent. Within minutes, Pray for AJ was trending globally on Twitter and Instagram. Fans shared old fight clips, interviews, and memorable moments, struggling to grasp that such a shocking event could happen just weeks after his triumphant comeback. Promoter Eddie Hearn, on a family holiday when he heard the news, told the Daily Mail, "I woke up to the news of this incident. We are trying to contact Anthony, and in the meantime, we don't want to speculate. Thankfully, he appears okay from the images I've seen." That single word thankfully resonated across every sports outlet. Fellow fighters, including Tyson Fury, Derek Chisora, and Deontay Wilder, sent messages of support. Even Jake Paul, his recent opponent, tweeted a broken heart emoji with the words, "Glad you're safe, champ." For a brief moment, rivalries vanished. The boxing community, often divided by competition and ego, united around one undeniable truth: a miracle had occurred. Yet as relief settled in, one question loomed large: what happens next for Anthony Joshua only weeks before the crash? He had silenced critics with a decisive victory over Jake Paul, a crossover bout that broke viewing records and cemented his comeback as boxing's redemption story. Fans and analysts hailed it as the start of AJ's second era.
We could do with a fight that's going to prepare us for Tyson Fury. It's quite a difficult thing to do style-wise. Because Fury's going to fight, right? So he's going to fight in April. So we don't want to sit out till September.
Why not scrap that fight? Why not try to come together and say, let's do Fury AJ in April?
We do that. I don't mind doing that, but I don't think Tyson Fury will take the fight straight off the bat.
Eddie Hearn had been coordinating Anthony Joshua's next appearance in the ring, targeting a February or March comeback, potentially setting up a mega fight with Tyson Fury later in the year. Just days before the crash, Hearn told the Ariel Helwani show that negotiations were moving forward, but that was before the Lexus slammed into the truck. Now, the focus isn't on who Joshua will fight. Next is whether he will step back into the ring this spring. Doctors have confirmed his injuries are minor, but emotionally this experience could leave scars far deeper than any punch. For Joshua, who has overcome defeats, criticism, and reinvention, this was different. This wasn't about sport legacy or redemption. This was about survival. In the days following the accident, Nigeria's Federal Road Safety Corps issued condolences to the families of the deceased and wished Joshua a speedy recovery. Their statement described the crash as tragic and avoidable, confirming that the investigation remains ongoing. Joshua was transported to a local hospital treated for minor cuts and bruises, and sources close to him say he is stable, alert, and already discussing his recovery. Those familiar with the situation note he is still processing the trauma, but is quietly reflective, a side of him rarely seen by the public. The FRSC noted that speed and an overtaking attempt were likely factors in collision's small split-second decisions that changed multiple lives forever. Privately, Joshua has reportedly expressed deep gratitude for strangers who rushed to help him. Friends say the usually stoic fighter has been quieter than normal, visibly shaken, fully aware of how close he came to being another tragic headline. 2 lives were lost that morning, and one friend said AJ knows he was inches from being the third. For a man celebrated for his strength and resilience, it was a sobering reminder of life's fragility. Anthony Joshua almost didn't survive, but he did. And now alive, he has a story that could redefine him not only as a boxer, but as a man. This wasn't just another sports headline. It was a collision of fame, fate, and fragility. The crash, the loss, and the rescue all unfolded in real time before millions who had watched Joshua rise, fall, and rise again. As he recovers, the world is watching. Will this near-death experience fuel a new mindset? Will it change how he fights, trains, or lives? Jake Paul is watching. Tyson Fury is watching. Fans around the world are watching. But most importantly, Anthony Joshua himself is watching his life with new eyes as the investigation continues. One truth stands clear. He survived for a reason. Perhaps that reason is yet to be written in the ring. What do you think? Will this accident change Joshua's mindset ahead of his next fight, or make him even more unstoppable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. For the latest boxing news updates and highlights, subscribe to BW. Today, turn on notifications and don't miss a single moment. Check out our other videos, and until next time, peace.